Evening to everybody at home.
Welcome.
Lovely audience. Isn't this an easy show to do?
Yeah, wonderful. We're going to do some puddings for you. We're going to first start off with a pear pudding, followed then by a banana rum pudding, keep still, and then to finish off we're going to do for you a peach cake, a very easy one. What do you keep doing that for?
Our guests are the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh dear. Come on, Pete, on you get.
Isn't it nice when the kitchen has to come to you? We've had... Oh, I've dropped the recipes on the floor. That'll be good. So what do we cook? Oh, pear pudding we're starting with. What I've done here, because pears are available most time of the year here in Britain. Notice I said Britain, not England only. So I've got about 8 pears here, and this is a delicious thing to do.
8 pears of what?
8 pears of, off a fruit tree. I need you tonight like a hole in the head.
Sorry?
All I've done is peel them. Cutting them in quarters. I've got a large bowl here, which I've put the juice of about 2 lemons, some more water, keeping them in acidulated water, as they call it, to stop them going black. But as they've been there now for about 3 hours, they've gone slightly brown. But we're going to bake it off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'll just do these. Just make sure you get all that hard core out and the little black bits. You're going to be one of those helpful people tonight, aren't you? But I can fix you in 1 second flat.
Why?
I'll stop. And then you won't know where you are, will you?
Oh, yes, I will.
I've just dropped that on my machine. Now, I've got a fairly large... I'll drain it. Oh, that's good. I can bring... Oh, I've dropped them all down the sink.
You can actually use tin pears if you want, though, Pete, couldn't you?
No, they go a bit too soft. If you can, use fresh pears. Sorry to do about that, Peter. I know I'm not supposed to step back. There's the... Take them out of the way of the camera. So I've got a large dish here. You can use a round one, square, whichever you like. Just well grease this with some butter. And I really mean well grease, because when you see the end result of this, you'll see why. Grease that like that, throw that on the floor, it's the only time, I haven't got time. And then just lay these out as you want decoratively. I'm going to, as I'm using a rectangle bowl, put these into straight lines, so I'm sure that's terribly interesting for you.
Right, while Peter's doing that, I'll make the batter, which is very simple. It's sort of like a Yorkshire pudding, but a bit sort of richer than that. You need 1 1/3 cups of milk and 2/3 a cup of cream, light cream or heavy cream, whichever you like. We're using light cream. Then you need 1 cup of caster sugar, and the reason for caster sugar is the fact that as it's sort of finer, it goes into the mixture much better. Then 2/3 of a cup of flour. Whoops! Plain flour, this is, not self-raising. It doesn't have to be self-raising flour. About 2/3 of a cup goes into there like that. And then what you need too is a teaspoon
Aren't slippery when they're peeled?
Yeah, I know. Wait till you get to the bananas.
Oh, don't remind me.
Even cut up, they're hard to hold. You need 1 1/2...
Yes, fruit should have handles on it.
1 1/2... You put this little daft thing in here. 1 1/2 teaspoons...
Finish my bit.
This will take a while, won't it? About 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. Like that.
Calm, I'm on television.
And then you need 4 eggs. Now, you all do this at home, don't you? Ready?
Don't encourage him.
I won't do it with that, Doc, because it's a bit sloppy. You need 4 eggs, and all you need to do is beat that up. Now, it's a very, very simple but quite rich batter, and it does rise because it's the eggs that make it rise and not the self-raising flour or baking powder people want to put into it. It's not necessary to do it like that. Just mix it all together, and then I'll give this to you.
Thank you.
Can I go like that? You're going to pour it on?
Getting caught in the wind.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Drafty. Now, I've just laid... I can't lift up because they'll slide everywhere. Make an attractive pattern, and as David said, he's just made a batter. Pour this evenly over it, because you want this to go all over the fruit. Yeah, and you can do this with anything. I'm just using pears because I think the combination is so attractive.
You can do it with fresh peaches. You can also do it, if you want to, with cherries, fresh cherries, or any of fresh fruits. It's really nice. It's like a clafouti. And you all know what a clafouti is, don't you?
No.
Lying hounds.
To finish this off, I've mixed together here, I wish you'd go out for the
gone.
evening, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and I'm just sprinkling this all over the pudding. So that's just that batter that David made, which is full of lumps, but never mind, they'll come out in the end. It is. And then I'm going to dot this. I'll be very quick with this. Just anywhere you like. There it is, done. That's that out of the way. Get a knife. About 50 grams of butter. Use your finger. This will be nice. I'll never get to the sink to wash up. About 50 grams of butter without the top of your finger. And then that goes in an oven, a preheated oven. Tonight's not the night. And I want to take this because the temperatures are very important. I'll open the oven. Oh, I've got one in there. What do I do with that one? I've forgotten.
Well, you put it in the bottom.
I'll put it in the bottom.
No, the bottom of the oven.
I can't. I've got to put something else in there later.
Well...
Shh. I'll do the move. Sorry about that, Peter. This goes in a preheated oven. I'm sorry, because I'm baking one in there already at the moment, and I need it for another thing. But the very important, the temperatures. It's 220 degrees Celsius, or 420 degrees Fahrenheit. 15 minutes, and this is very, very important. And then you lower the temperature to 180 degrees Celsius, 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, and then it's done. But they're very important. You must lower that temperature.
Right.
Next.
We wanted to do some cream, a very simple cream, which goes actually with it. I've just got to beat this up a little bit more. And one of the things, too, when we were adding the vanilla essence to it, where am I? Oh, hello. When we're adding the vanilla... It's awful when you see people like that. You see them in the newsreaders and they go, and we've had this terrible news today. Oh, they say we're terribly sorry. But they never apologise, do they? Never. Well, you do. Anyway, you beat the cream like that. What I was going to say was, when you're doing vanilla essence in, instead of doing vanilla essence, if you take a couple of vanilla pods like this, you see these ones here? Now, they're quite expensive when you buy them, but they actually last for ages. Stick them in some caster sugar, put a lid on and leave it for a week or so, and that gives you a really wonderful flavoured vanilla sugar, so you don't have to use the essence. About 3 tablespoons of that goes in there with my little wiggly bit as well. They look like rat's tails, don't they? And also, too, a little bit of liqueur, and we're using a pear liqueur because we're using pears. If you used apple...
You said to me earlier, a pair of what? What are the 2 liqueurs? You said
pear
you're using
liqueur
a pair of
or
liqueurs.
poire.
Oh, why don't you say
2
so?
liqueurs. If you were using apricot, you can get an apricot liqueur. If you're using any of the other fruits, cherry, you can use kirsch, and so on. So you just need that like that. Whip it up fairly stiff because Peter's going to have to pile this onto something.
I've got a dish here.
Have you got your dish? Mm-hmm. Pile it on.
Go.
Now comes the easy bit. When you're really stuck for a quick dessert, this next dessert is very, very simple because it's all bought and put together. Now you take a sponge, a plain sponge. I didn't actually make this, Mum. Dale's mum made this one for me. Which is well, it was. I didn't have the time, dear.
It's nice
you can't do everything. Just take a sponge, either 2 like that. We'll show you what to do if you've only got 2, or 1 ordinary sponge. And then we're going to do something very simple with that, which Peter's going to do the next bit for me now.
Thanks very much for hurrying me on. What I've done, David opened a can of peach halves, about that high. I've taken the liquor out of that, and I've just put it in a pot, and I've reduced it by 2/3, so you won't see the consistency of that, but that's already into a thick syrup. There's no sugar in that, it's only the peach juice. But I'm adding to this, you can do what you like with this, play around with the dish. I'm adding into this 3 tablespoons of apricot glug jam.
Conserve.
I'm not, I know, I'm very conservative.
Shall I pay the extra 5 pence?
No, I should have had the
temperature or just
up,
buy jam?
Is he still here? I should have had the temperature a little higher.
Yeah, so you never, your mouth, you go on, criticise me. When it comes to your bit, you never do anything, do you?
Just mix this round until it's amalgamated with the syrup, and then you take it over to your know-all person that helps you cook.
Oh, hello, Pierre.
Now, to add to the piquancy of this, we're adding to this... Now, booze is expensive, and we use a lot of booze in cooking, but you can use miniatures, so it's much cheaper. This is a peach schnapps, which gives that absolute... It's the most beautiful perfume and taste. About 2 tablespoons. Peaches.
It's brilliant, truly, because if
I'm
you
not
want to,
joking, it's
if you want to do it and do a drink, you have that and vodka, and it's called a fluffy navel. No. It's actually dribble it. It's true. If you dribble it down you at night when you're in bed, you go, oh my God, what's this? And you've got bleeding fluffy navel with drinks with lumps in it. Sorry.
Now, we've separated this cake because David's chosen to use two, because Dale's mother made two, which is very nice of her. And if you want the lumps, leave them in, but we're going to sieve it, only just to be a little bit flash. So about a third of this quantity, move this thing around, would you?
Oh, come on, put some in
I
there.
have got some in there.
Oh, do it with your spoon, wiggle it.
Give it to me, you useless. Useless.
And put this on a lipped tray, by the way, and don't have the sponge fresh. Dale's mum actually made it for us a month ago. But then you put a little bit more of that. Oh, my thing is...
Oh, leave me now. Excuse me for coughing. And then another third over the top of the cake itself. And if you wanted to, you could actually pierce this with skewers so that it would take up more of this peach liquor. But as I said, we're only using pears and peaches as a combination.
Now, you can do this again with apricots.
Not tonight, I'm not.
Oh, I'll tell you what would be nice
Hurry
to do
up.
it with, if you want a dark colour, do it with prunes.
Yes, prunes and apricots, prunes, anything at all, just use
It
your own
might make it a bit runny, but it'd still be very good.
What about yourself?
I'm not worried
You're putting
about
a peach
me.
in the middle?
Yeah, I'm going to put one in the middle. I've got plenty here. Now, all you do is do the rest of that over there. Shall I take that from you? Because you're getting a bit messy, aren't you? You are, really.
Just again, do this over. So I say, if you want to leave
Square
those,
it up a bit,
that, oh, what with another foot?
Yeah.
But you see, there's quite a lot left in there, which I'm going to eat on toast tomorrow morning.
Right. Now, all you
smells
do
lovely.
with this, you pop this in the oven and do it at about 170 degrees Celsius, and you only leave it in there for about 7 to 10 minutes until it just heats through. That's all you have to do. You're not cooking it, just heating it. Why are you playing with your ball?
Because I want to welcome our guest tonight.
All right, let us welcome...
The Harlem
Globetrotters!
Whoa! Young and
They're
virile.
not the only
I
ones
just like
who can
that one.
swivel their beefers.
Oh, how clever. When did you learn that? I better not do it, I'd break it. Right,
gonna do it with a
now,
sponge.
we're going to do the pièce de résistance, the banana rum pie. So what I've done here is started, again, the size of your pastry case determines how many bananas, because you want a lush, piled up pie. I'm using here about 6 or 7 bananas.
Yes, a few more, Pete.
I beg your pardon?
I'd do a few more.
Why didn't you tell me earlier? I had plenty of time. Just peel a banana, which you're all very well aware of. I've already slipped on a pear peeling. Just cut them in diagonals. In this instance here, I've put the juice of 2 lemons in.
Who does this remind you of? A tico-tico, a tico-tico, tico-tico-tico-da.
Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher should kill you.
So what I've done here, as I say, depending on the size, this will be quite serious, some firm bananas. Soft ones are no good for this because you are going to bake it. Add to that about 1/4 cup of good honey. So 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup. That's 1/4 cup. Hope I don't spill the rest of the ingredients. About, oh, my spoon's dirty. 3 tablespoons of soft brown sugar. Very
You've
thin.
done enough don't
Very
you?
to err is divine. To forgive us, you know, whatever they say. And of course, my favourite, some freshly ground nutmeg in this, plus the fingernail. Oh, I've just done.
On that, but I bet you $1 he errs on the next bit.
And what I just happened to find, a little bit of
There we
mother's
go.
ruin. It must be dark rum for the flavour here, because it's the essential part. 2 tablespoons. These are soup spoons, so I put more in. 2 tablespoons of dark rum.
Is it real rum?
Of course, it is my brand. Just mix this round. Now, you don't have to dissolve the sugar. My goodness, I could read War and Peace while I'm doing this. You don't have to dissolve the sugar because it's going to dissolve in the cooking. So just tip this into your pre-baked case. David made this for me, actually. Beautifully done. A short crust pastry case, which again will cook, as I say. That's why you want firm bananas, because you're going to cook this off again.
I was going to say too, if you're doing it, I wouldn't actually use sweet short crust pastry, just a short crust pastry without the sugar in, not a pâté sucré,
Okay.
or whatever they call it, you know.
And what's that other stuff you was talking
because
about
you've got so
earlier?
much sugar in it. What
Now,
other stuff?
again-
Oh, a clafouti.
When you, I'm going to ask you afterwards what it is. I haven't got time at the moment. And also,
It's like a Yorkshire pudding that I've just done with fruit in it.
excuse me, do you mind? I'm trying to explain what I'm doing.
Oh, sorry.
Use firmer butter that I'm using. Dot onto this about, again, 50 grams of greasy butter. And then this goes in the oven. I'm putting it in the same oven. About 180 degrees, and that cooks. I put it on a heat-proof plate here, oven-proof plate, because I want to serve it straight from that. 180 degrees for about 15 minutes, no longer.
Right. Now, actually, when you do that, you take it out after it's cooked, and it does subside a little, as you can see.
I don't want a round of applause. You'd embarrass me. But here is the pear pudding. How's that look? Can you smell that? Mind your own business, I made that.
See how it just wiggles in the middle, Pete? Doesn't it look lovely?
Leave that
No, it's
alone.
meant to wiggle in the middle.
Get on with your own.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Get on
but
with
you see
your
what I mean?
own.
You don't have to use self-raising flour, and it still comes up. It's the eggs that give it its lightness. However, back to the banana
Right,
bun
what's
pie.
that do next?
You take it out of the oven, leave it to cool naturally, and then pop it in the fridge to cool down a little bit further. And then what you do is take, now if you're on a diet, forget this. You can actually serve it up like it is, but as you can see, because it's baked, it doesn't look too attractive. So what we do now is just with just a light touch, we add a little bit.
Anybody in the audience lost this?
What is it?
It's a long piece of string.
It's not actually.
Oh, it's our door
It's called a
opener.
door opener.
How careless of
No, I'm going. They have to know. The doors got stuck. They're pulling them with a piece of string one way, and they're coming in and pull them closed the other way with a bit of string. But it's good
Normally
string.
people ask, is there a doctor in the house? We wanted a carpenter.
Right. Now, as I say, leave that to go cold. Now, if you want to sharpen it up a little further, then add a little bit of lemon or lime juice just before you put the cream on. But don't add it to the cream, because otherwise the cream would turn sour. And then you just dollop this on like this.
Slimming, isn't it? That's why I drink wine. Oh, that's
Everybody's going to
ridiculous.
say, oh, look at all the cream they're using. Tough. It really is good, though, because it serves 6 people, 6 to 8 people easily without any trouble whatsoever. I'll just do this, and then perhaps, Peter, would you mind decorating it for me?
It would be the greatest pleasure to...
Have you got your nutmeg?
Yes.
I'll give you some bananas. Now, I'll warn you,
no.
they are slippery.
Is the camera on you?
There you are. Oh, God, it's heavy.
I've lost the nutmeg.
Oh, have you? Oh.
I'm stepping back again.
Here, look. Do that with the
found a jar.
banana. Right.
I found a jar.
Put your nanis on first.
I will. Where's the fork?
What fork?
Put it with... I can't pick it up.
Oh,
It's
we'll do it
slippery.
with the thing.
Thank you, that'll do.
Oh, getting out of these corsets and half difficult.
So again, this really is very healthy
Don't
for
you laugh at me, lady.
And I know we were using
You might be
here...
fat one day like me too.
There are rum essences and things you can use instead of using the real thing. We like to do this because of the authentic taste, but you can still achieve... We're giving you pretty... Gosh, you look posh.
I know.
Where are you going?
Out.
Are you? What
Fed up
time?
with this. Fed up with cooking all
Aren't
this.
you staying for dinner?
No, I'm not.
We've got some super guests.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'll just get this. Oh, it's the wrong thing. It's the fridge, isn't it?
Try the oven. That's where you usually bake thing. Mind you'd bake something anywhere.
Now, here's me little...
Hang on, I haven't done the nutmeg.
Oh, and half hot. It looks like a little simnel cake, see?
I did a bitter stale sponge, 10 peaches, he gets a round of applause. I do that which took hours and is real.
Oh, look, it's fallen now.
Oh.
Hurry up with grating your nutmeg.
So did I 30
Oh,
years
while you're
ago.
grating your nutmeg, excuse me, you behind there, can we have our ball back, please? The Harlem Globetrotters.
I must have shrunk in the washing.
Listen, I want to ask you actually,
Wonderful
one of
to
these
have you
things.
with us, wonderful.
Do you have any food fads, or do you eat certain foods? What about you?
Well, this
Keep your
looks
eyes off
pretty
that.
good right
Keep your
here.
eyes off that.
Yeah.
I love sweets.
When you go into a hotel and they see how tall you are, what do they do with your arrangements for beds?
Well, the only problem with it, they usually get king-size bed, but some hotels don't even have a king-size bed. So I just maybe sleep cat a corner, throw it on the floor. Or I make do. Sometimes with eating, too. You have to make do.
Oh, well, let's try this tonight.
Oh, this
Right,
is
if you like to
oh,
take
man.
the cream...
There you are. And if you take that,
someone
mind the string when you're going into
you
the dining room.
take
It's
that-
dangerous.
You take that, because I know you've had your eyes on it for ages. And you'll go through. Just have to come through. there and put this down.
Thank you, dear.
Right, and I'll give that. Thank you. It's lovely. Now, the only other thing is
Oh,
with this.
I'm getting old and fat, but never
Right.
mind, it's the food we eat. There is the pear pudding, which we do suggest you try. It's lovely hot, it's very nice at room temperature, and it's equally as nice cold. So it's got 3 versions. Ideal thing to
Banana
take on a
rum
picnic.
pie, for those of you who are on a diet, is an excellent choice for putting you back to Weight Watchers again. And, but as I said before, it does actually do sort of 8 to 10 servings unless you're a real pig. And for lastly, for if you're in a real hurry, then the apricot little sponge here with all that stuff over the top of it is very nice, that syrup. Or you
I'm
can
dying
do
to
it
know how
with,
you're going to get out of
peaches
this when you offer
apricots.
some to our guests and you think they're a pig because they'll eat all
Oh,
that.
I beg your pardon,
And
I
the
didn't
fresh
mean
cream.
that.
And we like to tell our viewers at home, we suggest a white wine, a muscat or something like that, just a sweet wine if you're just going to have the desserts. It's a nice accompaniment. But thank you all very much for coming tonight. We've got soda water for you because we know you don't drink at all.
And
We're
also
drinking wine, of course.
We'll see you in
Next
Britain
summer, won't
next
it?
year, isn't it?
Very
Great.
even
success.
greater than this, won't it?
God bless you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you,
coming.
everybody
God bless.
here, to
God
our
bless.
audience here,
To our
and
audience
everyone
here.
at home.
Everybody at home. If you would like any of the recipes from the series, please send a stamped addressed envelope to room 5042 BBC Northwest, Oxford Road, Manchester, code M601SJ.